can you remind me what were we talking about yesterday? What was our lesson, or what is the title or the subject of our class yesterday? Sadiq, تفضل.
We talked about the structures of the sun.
Yes.
What are the layers of the sun?
Yes, the layers of the sun, and also
Where sun energy is generated.
Yes, thank you. So, طيب, thank you, Sadiq. What are the layers of the sun? There are three layers of the sun. What are غسان تفضل. غسان, can you answer this question?
Core,
Yes.
radiative, convective.
The core radiative zone and the connective
core.
zone. Thank you. طيب, Rimas. Good morning, Rimas.
Good morning.
طيب, where is the energy generated in the sun?
In the middle.
In the core. In the core. Look, the core is where the sun's energy is generated. طيب. And the core, radiative and connective zones carry this energy to the sun's surface. طيب. Who can tell me or explain for me the atmosphere of the sun? Who can describe for me the atmosphere of the sun?
Can I?
Sarah, yes, you can.
But I do not memorize all of them. I only memorize one.
يلا احكي تفضلي. What can you memorize?
That it's different than our atmosphere, and one of the layers is corona.
Corona. Okay. Who can list them for me? Hassan. Thank you, sir.
Sphere and
رانيا, open افتح صفحة 239 يا رانيا. 239. طيب حسن يلا again.
It's photosphere and
Yes.
chromosphere and corona.
Yes, thank you very much. طيب. Okay, the atmosphere of the sun has three layers. The photosphere, chromosphere, and corona. And the photosphere, it is what you see when you look at the sun. That what you see is called photosphere. And now, how can we see the chromosphere and corona? The corona can be seen only during the total solar eclipse. مين بيحكي لي شو يعني eclipse؟
انت شو حكيت لنا امبارح؟ ايش هي الكورونا؟ هو
لا طبعا هو يا راني الكورونا مش الكورونا اللي بيحكي.
I know.
Grade 5. Group 5. Sorry, grade 5. طيب. Wait a minute, please. طيب. What is the meaning of eclipse?
Mr. can I?
يلا. Who's
Mr.
talking? تفضل.
Kusuf. What's the word again? Mr. Can I? Mr.
شكرا.
Mr. Can I? Mr. What's the word again? Can I? Mr. What is the word?
طيب خلينا شوي اللي ما جاوبش من مرة أحمد وملاك خلينا بعدين ملاك. Wait.
Mr. It means Kusuf.
Good. ملاك تفضلي.
كسوف يا مستر.
طيب مش مشكلة. Thank you ملاك. Thank you أحمد. Thank you. طيب. Now the corona can be seen only during the total solar eclipse. So this is generally the structure of the sun. Of course, look here, look at this just to add information to you. يعني هذا الأخير هذا اللي هون مكتوب مش مطلوب منا بس إنه خلينا نشوف. Look at this photo. What do you see here? This photo shows a solar flare on the
Fire.
sun. إيش؟
It's a fire.
Yes. Solar flares occur when energy heats the sun so much that it causes particles to explode into outer space. طيب. This is just an good or nice information or nice fact for us. طيب. Let's go to the next page. Then, inshallah, we are going to talk about the distances of stars and the brightness of stars and star temperatures. Look.
Dad,
أيوة.
أنا هذا اليوم راح ندرس اللي هو هون يعني تقريبا نكون درسته أنا في البيت يعني.
شكرا يا رانيا. Thank you. Thank you very much. طيب. Now,
Welcome.
have you ever been outdoors when the sun sets? طيب. شو يعني sun sets?
Goes down.
Yes. Excellent. لما بتغرب. At first, you don't see any stars. Then, as the sun disappears below the
They
horizon,
start appearing.
يعني after the sun disappears, when it gets dark, you start to see the stars. يعني a few bright stars appear. But at the beginning, as the sun disappears below the horizon, few bright stars appear. Then when it gets dark, more and darker, you can see more stars and طيب. Now I want you to know that the apparent size of the star is very small. What is the meaning of apparent? Apparent means the way something looks. It doesn't mean that the apparent size of the star, it doesn't mean that it's the actual size. So apparent means the way something looks. Look here, for example, if you are looking at someone, that is very far from you, the apparent size of this person, you may think that he is short, for example. But when he gets closer to you, you see its actual size. So the apparent size is what you see from the star in the sky. The apparent size is the way something looks. It doesn't mean that, or the apparent size does not give you the actual size of the star. Now, even though stars in the sky appear, wait, Rimas, even though stars in the sky appear to be small, but actually they are many, many times larger than Earth. These stars that you see in the sky in the night or at night, these stars looks, or their apparent size looks very small, but actually they are many, many times larger than Earth. So why, قبل أن نكمل, why do these stars appear small? Who can answer? Why do you think these stars appear small? Rimas.
أنا بعرف.
Wait, yeah.
Because they're far away.
Yes,
from us.
they are very, very far from us. طيب, Sadine, what do you want to say?
The same, يعني, because they
Yes.
are far away
So,
from us.
I want you to know that.
Can I?
Sarah?
Mister, because they are very far away. They are in other galaxies.
Excellent. So, the apparent size of the stars. The apparent size of the stars in the sky. It does not give us the actual fact or the true image of the star. So the distances are very important. The distance of the star important to determine its brightness. Stars, okay, that are very far from us appear what? Appear dimmer or with less brightness. Sun, our sun or Earth's sun is a star. It's very close from Earth. For this reason, it appears its brightness is huge because it's very close to us, but it doesn't mean that sun is the largest star. As we mentioned yesterday, sun is medium sized. Are you with me?
Yes.
Fine. So
Yeah.
the distance,
Yes.
distances of stars are very important in determining their brightness. If the star is very far, so it becomes less bright. The brightness of this star becomes less. If the star is close to Earth, its brightness increases. Right. So let's continue. Even though stars in the sky appear to be small, they are actually many, many times larger than Earth. They appear small because they are so far from Earth. Please highlight this. They appear, and for the apparent comes from the word appear or look small because they are so far from Earth. But now the distances of stars from Earth are enormous. They are very large. The distances of these stars from Earth are very, very large. Now, scientists use, for example, if I want to talk about the distances of the classroom. طيب استنى شوي. If I want to talk about the distances of classroom, who can tell me what should I use or what I will use? مين بيقول لي؟ What are the units? What are the units that we use to talk about distance?
Kilometers.
Kilo.
For the room is very small.
Meters.
Yes, thank you. For room we use meters, or for larger distances we use kilometers. Thank you, Tala. Thank you, Malak. Right. Now, in the space, ايش يا سلمى؟
Master, I don't understand.
طيب يلا بعيد مش مشكلة. Don't worry. Now in the space there are large, huge distances, kilometers. If we want to describe the distances between stars or between stars and Earth in the space, if we use kilometers, we will use large numbers. So scientists use another unit. This unit is called what? Who can tell me? Who can tell me what we call the unit or the units that scientists use to talk about the distances in space? The answer is found in the text.
الأستاذ بدنا إيانا إنه نكتب أسامينا على الجروب.
No. شباب ما حدا عارف؟
أستاذ علي.
Wait, millions.
طلع. Scientists use units to this.
Mister, don't say, Mister.
طيب ماشي يلا.
Mr. Million.
What?
Light year.
Yes, مين اللي حكى light year؟
سدين.
Thank you. Good. طلعوا هون لو سمحتوا شوي.
مستر.
راحت صورة الكتاب، رجعت صورة الكتاب ولا لا؟
يس.
طيب
Yes.
الآن اعملوا لي عليها هاي highlight. يعني if we in science on space scientists use this unit because if we use kilometers it's very hard because we will use large numbers. Look, to measure distances, the distances scientists use the light year. What is the light year? A light year is the distance. What is the meaning of light year? The distance that light travels in 1 year. So it's very light, by the way, شباب ركزوا معي. Light is very, very fast. Okay? Did you know that the speed of light is, who can tell me? بتعرفوها? What is the speed of light?
Mr.
It has numbers.
300 seconds.
300,000 kilometers in 1 second. Look,
A second.
1
that
second.
means the light travel 300,000 kilometers in 1 second. So the light means that distance, look, the distance, شباب فاهمينها? The distance that the distance, a light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. So look at this number. This is exactly the light year, 9 trillion 460 billion kilometers. Light travels this distance in 1 year. So the light year is very huge distance. The closest star in our galaxy, the closest star to us is, look, 4.2 light years away, which is very, very far. Look, the closest star in our galaxy is 4.2 light years. Yani you have to multiply 4.2 by this number to find the distances in kilometers. Again, if you want to find the distance of the closest star to us in kilometers, you should multiply this number 4.2 by this number, which is very, very huge distance.
Mr.
It's
3.973536E9.
يعني انت طلعتيه من الكالكوليتر؟
Yes.
قديش again؟ قديش طلع؟
3.973536E9.
But there are a lot of zeros. يعني مستحيل راح يطلع الرقم اكبر من هيك. يعني شايف الرقم هذا نمبر suppose يعني تطلع كيف بدك تعملي multiplication or multiply this number طلعي like this. The closest star to us is 4.2 light years, and the light year is 460 بعدين 800 بعدين 6 zeros صح؟
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3,
So
4, 5, 6.
it's very huge number.
Yes, the same.
طيب اوكي طيب ماشي. Did you know that, look, that some stars can be millions of light years away. So it's very, very, يعني things, these things you can't imagine. So to make it easier for us, scientists use light year instead of kilometers. Okay, on Earth we can use kilometers or meters because the distances are very small. But when we go to space, there are very huge distances. For this reason, we use light year. The light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, which is equal to 9,406,000,000.
Mr. It gives me 3,973,536
صوتها بقطع صح؟
0,0,0,0.
Yes.
صوتك بقطع كثير ولا
مش
في
مشكلة. ثانك يو ملاك. طيب
طلع معي جو 3,973,536
طيب ثانك يو. الآن girls and boys فاهمين ولا لا؟
أنا مش فاهم.
طيب يا سلمى، شو اللي مش فاهمين فيه يا سلمى؟
مش فاهم الدرس.
طيب الآن again يلا خلينا نرجع. الآن distances of stars. Generally, simply, المسافات. The stars are very far from us. There are huge distances, or يعني the distances of stars from each other and from us, from Earth, are very huge. Now, for this reason, these stars appear, or their apparent size, they look very small, because not because they actually small, but they are actually many, many times larger than Earth. Because they are very far, they appear small. So the stars in the solar system appear small because they are so far from Earth. إيش يا سعد؟
يا أستاذ أمل تخلص الحصة لأنه أنا بدي أطلع.
عندك إشي يعني؟
بدي أطلع أنا هسه.
ضايل يعني 10 minutes.
أوكي.
Or less, 10 minutes or less. طيب.
أوكي.
So stars appear. The stars appear. The stars appear very small because they are so far from Earth. Now the distances of stars from Earth are enormous. To measure the distances, scientists use light year, السنة الضوئية. Light year معناها إيش؟ أنتوا معي؟
Yes.
بالعربي. Light year السنة الضوئية يعني المسافة. السنة الضوئية هي المسافة اللي بيقطعها الضوء سنة كاملة. هاي هي. Light travels. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. This is the number. It's very great number. 9,406,000,000,000 kilometers. Right. Notice that the closest star in our galaxy is 4.2 light years away, which is very far. If you want to find this distance in kilometers, you should multiply this number, 4.2 light years, to multiply with this number, which give you very huge number or large number. Why do scientists use light year? Because distances in the space are very, very huge. Okay, so it is easy to use the light year. Some stars can be millions of light years away. Okay, so the apparent size of the stars, when you look at the sky, stars look very small, not because they are very small, but because they are very, very far from Earth. Actually, they are many times larger than Earth. Fine. Is it clear now?
Yes.
So, how who can define for me the light year? What is the light year? Raise your hand.
What?
Light year.
Is the distance
light travels? No one answer without permission. Rimas.
A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year.
Thank you very much. طيب. Important question. How are the temperature and the brightness of a star related? or how the distance and the brightness of the star related? Is there a relationship between the brightness of a star and its distance? No one can describe the relationship? Sarah.
Because
Brightness and
stars,
distance.
because the brightness. I forget what I was going to say.
Right. If the star is very far from us or from the earth, so what will happen to the brightness?
It is smaller, but she is bigger.
Right. Okay.
Can I?
طيب. Let's go to the next paragraph. The brightness of stars. Okay. So now, as you know that the sun is much closer to earth than other stars are. مين اللي رافع ايده؟ اللي عنده سؤال، اللي ما عنده سؤال ينزل ايده. سدين ايش بدك تحكي؟
كنت أجاوب.
طيب خلص خلينا نكمل بعدين. Now the brightness of stars. So in the previous paragraph or in the first paragraph, we were talking about the distances of stars, and we know that stars are very, the distances in the space are very huge, and scientists use light years. Okay. Now the brightness of stars. The sun is much closer to Earth than other stars, and this is important thing you have to know, that the sun is much closer to Earth than other stars. That is why, for this reason, the sun appears so much larger than any other stars. But actually, there are many stars that are larger than the sun. So the sun appears much larger because it's very close to Earth. Right. You may have noticed that some stars appear brighter than other stars. Again, this is important thing. You may notice when you look at the sky, some stars appear brighter than other stars. Now, the brighter stars, okay, are not necessarily bigger or brighter. Again, the stars that appear brighter in the sky, it doesn't mean, or it's not necessarily, or these stars are not necessarily a bigger or brighter. The apparent brightness of a star depends on two things: on how the star is bright, or how the bright star actually, this is the first one, and also its distance, or how far away it is. Okay? Again, the brightness or the apparent brightness of a star depends on two things. The first thing is how bright the star actually is, its actual brightness, and also how far it is away. So, a brighter star can appear less bright in the sky. How it appear less bright? If, look, a brighter star can appear less bright in the sky than a star that is actually dimmer if the dimmer star is close to Earth, is closer to Earth. ما بعرف فهمتوها ولا لا؟ What is the opposite of brighter?
Yes.
What is the opposite of brighter?
Dimmer.
Excellent. So sometimes يعني بحكي لك اياها simply. It's not always, or it's not necessarily, if you see a star that is brighter, it doesn't mean that it's actually brighter. It may be brighter because it is closer to Earth. Simply. يعني a brighter star can appear less bright in the sky than a star that is actually dimmer if the dimmer star is closer to Earth. Or in another way, to see it more easily or easier in an easier way. Dimmer stars appear brighter than brighter stars if they are closer to Earth. ايش يسمى؟
أستاذ إيش معنى
طلع ايش يسمى؟ برايتر شو بسموه بالانجليزي؟ طلع هذول شو بسموه بالانجليزي لما يكون two things opposite each other؟ شو بنسميهم؟ antonyms صح؟
Yes.
يعني انهم عكس بعض. برايتر لامع ودمر معناها خافت. طيب نرجع again. The brightness of stars, it depends on two things. How actually وينها صارت the brightness the apparent brightness of a star depends on two things: how bright the star actually is and how far away it is. So the how far away it is very important, and how actually it is bright. Look,
I want to say something.
A brighter star can appear less bright in the sky than a star that is actually dimmer if the dimmer star is closer to Earth. يعني on another way, يعني for example, let's take an example. The sun or Earth's sun appears ايش؟ مالها؟ appears the brightest star in the sky.
In our galaxy.
But it appears like this not because it is the brightest star. There are many stars. There are a lot of stars that are brighter than the sun. But the sun, Earth's sun, appears bright or appears the brightest star because it is closer to Earth. شباب حابين أعيدها ولا واضحة؟
واضحة أستاذ.
يعني لو طلع مثلا طلعوا كيف. This is بعطيكم مثال حلو عشان نفهمها. This is for example a source of light. لو كان عندنا light bulb مثلا. This is light bulb. اوكي هون عندنا هذا السورس اوف لايت مثلا. طيب هون في عندنا بيرسون هون بعيد عنها مثلا 10 مترز، وهون عندنا بيرسون بعيد عنها 50 مترز. طيب which person will see the light bulb brighter?
This one.
The 10 meter person.
Number 1 or number 2?
Number
One.
one.
Sure, I have a
Yes, look here. The light or the light bulb.
Number one.
Wait, the light bulb will appear brighter for this person, and
Because it's closer.
closer. He is closer, or the light bulb is closer to this person. But this person or this light bulb will appear what? Dimmer for this person because there is a large distance between them. The same thing for stars in the space. stars that are closer appears brighter than stars that are far away. Good?
Yes.
نعم.
يعني اللي بيكون أبعد بشوف الضوء أغمق.
أخفت
أو
مش قوي كثير. يعني النجوم اللي بعيدة عنا بتبين كأنها صغيرة ومش مضيئة كثير، أما اللي بتكون قريب بتكون بتلمع. فهمت كيف؟ برايتر. طيب على كل حال خلص خلص وقت الحصة. See you tomorrow إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
هذا عنده سؤال. إذا كنت
شكرا.